Well, just looking through the draw, I noticed some things that kind of jump out at me, like the number one player in the world is out right away to Gael Monfils. Wait, excuse me, getting something from Mr. Goat in Goat Studio. World number 2, Daniel Medvedev. He is no longer world number 1. Djokovic takes that back. Tsitsipas out. Berrettini out. Sasha Zverev out. No surprise. No surprise here at Coffee Break Tennis. Felix Auger Aliassime out. Sebi Corda out. Rublev still in. Jannik Sinner out, but looking very good. Got sick out due to illness. We will see him very soon in Miami. Rafa is still in, but barely in. Listen to what he said after he almost lost to Sebi Corda.
I played one of the worst matches of the year. It's true that he played well, very aggressive. His ball was very difficult to control. But still, I didn't serve well. He was able to put me too much pressure on the return, and then with my forehand, I was not able to damage him at all.
It isn't a lie. One of the worst matches of the year for Rafa, but he still found a way to win. We'll take a look at his comments and his recent win over Rauli Opelka. Who else is in this tournament besides Rafa Nadal? Well, the 2 finalists from Cincinnati, the Cincinnati Masters. 5 years ago, that is. 2017 finalist Grigor Dimitrov looking pretty good here. And of course, Nick Kyrgios plays Rafa Nadal tonight. We will talk about that. We'll also talk about an exciting young man, Carlos Alcaraz, who's putting up some incredible stats better than all big three when they were at his age, 18 years, 10 months old, winning more, 69 to 68. Rafa real close there. The ranking was 19 at the time of this, but now he's 17 in the world after his win last night over Gael Monfils. 2 titles, 1 title behind Nadal on that count. But the higher win percentage over Nadal, of course, and looking much better than Joker and Federer. Carlos Alcaraz, of course, he smoked Gael Monfils tight first set, and then I think he 6-1'd him pretty fast in the set. Was it 6-1 or 6-2? Either way, it was very fast in the second set. But speaking of very fast, take a look at this forehand from Gael Monfils. Comment below. How fast was it? How fast was it when he smoked this forehand, Monfils? Was it triple digits, in fact? Find out today on Coffee Break Tennis, an exciting St. Patrick's Day edition. Let's get going.
This is triple digits at least.
Welcome to Coffee Break Tennis. Very excited to be here today. Super fast show today. Jam-packed, super busy this week I have been, but we will be back tomorrow. We will be back every day for the remainder of Indian Wells, and we'll do lots of videos for Miami, even though we won't have our top players, Rafa and Djokovic, there. But it should still be a good tournament, especially because we got to see these guys. You know, I'm wondering to myself, I've said this before on the show, but is there a chance that this is a mirage? Think of the players before the big three came in and took over the sport that people would have been talking about, right? People would have been talking about Andy Roddick a lot. He was number 1, right? He was the last number 1 other than the big three and Murray. And now Medvedev joins that bunch for a couple weeks only, as it turned out. But Roddick, I believe, was the last number 1 right before Federer took that over in 2003, 2004. Of course, Juan Carlos Ferrero, now the coach of Carlos Alcaraz. Juan Carlos Ferrero would have been talked about around that time. Leighton Hewitt, another Marat Safin, another Carlos Moya. All these guys who were temporarily number 1, think in the style of Daniil Medvedev. And then those guys, it kind of fell off, right? We saw Hewitt for a while. He was still having some decent results, but not winning majors, not in the conversation for the very top. The big three took over. Is something like that about to happen in tennis now? And is Carlos Alcaraz one of them? Well, I just showed you the stats and what he's doing versus the big three. If we only go off of that, then yeah, it looks like this guy might be better. He's going to win more than 20 majors as well. Of course, people are really excited about Sasha Zverev, and Zverev still has this many major titles. Felix Auger, we were very excited about him. Tsitsipas, still with this many major titles. Medvedev, of course, he's got a 1, should have had 2, could have had a few. He's got 1. Do comment below your thoughts on that. This is an interesting time to be watching, and let me just look. Who's Carlos Alcaraz up against next? Let's, I won't put it on the screen because we're in a hurry, so I don't have time to edit anything too fancy. And Cam Norrie, champion from last year, fake the fake Indian Wells at the end of the year. But Cam Norrie has been one of the best performers on tour for a while now, so we'll give him some credit there. Someone like him was well positioned to take advantage of a tournament there where, Nadal, Djokovic, they didn't go. And we saw something kind of like this, a lot of seeds going out early. So Alcaraz will play Cam Norrie next, and then he'll get the winner of Kyrgios Nadal tonight. Who shall win that? Well, we'll look at some stats from the Opelka match, and I'll talk about why I think Nadal will beat Kyrgios. I'm sure a lot of you would assume that Nadal would beat Kyrgios, but Kyrgios is really having a real resurgence this week. He looks really good, and most impressively about Kyrgios, he seems to have a good attitude. He got a walkover yesterday because Jannik Sinner came down with some kind of illness, undisclosed illness. Wonder what that is. Hope it's not COVID 3.0. Don't even say it. Don't say things like that here on the show. Anyway, so Kyrgios got a walkover, and he was, they said, let's bring Kyrgios out there and have him answer some questions from the crowd. And Tennis TV, who did a big update, they changed everything. Doesn't work as well, not as smooth, but I guess there's some pluses. I like the new stats graphics they're using. We'll show you a couple of those coming up here. But Kyrgios goes out. They put it on the new Tennis TV apparatus, the new widgets and gadgets they got all over that thing. And somebody asked Kyrgios, you used to talk to yourself, but do you answer yourself? And I can't remember exactly what he said, but the point was Kyrgios finished that answering that question with saying, I think I've matured a lot. I'm in a lot better place mentally than I was back then, and he did say he's not asking as many questions of himself as he used to. He's not talking to himself as much as he used to, is what he said. I think this has been a great week for Kyrgios, and he just looks more serious, more focused. Maybe after the run in Australia with Kokkinakis, maybe he had some heart-to-heart conversations with Kokkinakis, who probably felt like he may never get another shot at playing professional tennis again with all the injuries he's been through. Whatever reason, Kyrgios is in a good spot. He'll have a shot to beat Rafa Nadal. But first, let's go back to Rafa talking about Sebi Corda. Put this up on the screen.
I played one of the worst matches of the year. It's true that he played well, very aggressive. His ball was very difficult to control. But still, I didn't serve well. He was able to put me too much pressure on the return, and then with my forehand, I was not able to damage him at all. But it's one of these days that when the things are going the proper way, like this beginning of the season, sometimes you win matches like this. I feel sorry for him, because he deserved probably more than me the match of today. I fight it, it's true, and I'm through. So very happy for that, and I'm going to try to be better the next day.
Seb Corda, a lot of people think he's going to be great. I've said I'm not convinced because of mental game. That's what makes Rafa. That's what makes Djokovic. That's what Federer's got a few other things going for him. And to be fair, Nadal and Djokovic do. But that's one of the things about Carlos Alcaraz. This guy's got so many weapons. I don't know if you remember this, but if you saw the Monfils match with Alcaraz last night, by the way, it was 124. That was the answer. 124 miles per hour. Pretty big. Monfils, he came out firing. There was at one point he hit a forehand falling backwards, 101 miles per hour. And Alcaraz still smoked him. And you may remember this shot. It's the one that sticks out in my mind. Alcaraz, big forehand, pushing Monfils back further and further until Monfils gets in that little defensive position. Well, we see Zverev fall back there sometimes. See a lot of guys who lose the mental side of things. They lose the confidence. Do that. And then pulls the trigger on the drop shot. Perfect drop shot. The ability to hit the drop shot, the ability to come to the net and handle the volleys so well. I mean, the hand skills on top of the physicality. This guy is already a beast, not even 19 years old yet, Alcaraz. He seems to have a lot more than what the big three had when they were young. Maybe Federer had all of that too. But as you know, Federer had problems putting all the talent that he had, putting it all together. Alcaraz appears to be putting it together pretty quickly. Djokovic and Nadal, they had to develop these things over the years, but the one thing that they all had was that mental toughness and belief that they deserve to be there and that they can and should, if they do the right things, win, right? They're always going to have a chance if they do the right things. Corda, not convinced there. He might get there. I hope he gets there. Exciting American player. And as you heard, Rafa said, I played one of the worst matches of the year. He played very aggressive, but I didn't serve well. My forehand did nothing. No damage to him at all. It really did. It was kind of, how when Rafa hits the forehand a little short and just kind of sits high in the middle of the court to smack. Here's a graphic for you. Corda stepping in. He lost the first set, but he was stepping in and taking it very early, very flat, very aggressive, the kind of way you need to play. Think of like a Tomas Berdych, Davydenko, who we know on hard courts especially gave Nadal all kinds of problems. Someone who can take the ball early, step, Federer on the right surfaces, obviously has beaten Nadal plenty of times. Someone who can take that ball early and flatten it out and bring the offense. But then he said, it's just one of these days. Sometimes you win matches like this. I feel sorry for him. They asked Rafa after that, what got you through it?
2 times he served for the match. What do you think it was that got you through it?
Well, he makes some mistakes, honestly. No, I think I played more or less a solid game in the... Yeah, with the breaks I had 2 great passing shots, then a solid game on the return. But even like this, then after he had one love 30 and then a break point with an easy forehand, he had plenty of things today, and he missed more than usual. I am through. I can't say much, just super happy for that. But
So he said, how did you break back when you evened it out in the third set, right? Because Rafa was down 5-2, I think, in that third set. And, Rafa said he came up with 2 great passing shots. I think they were both backhands, actually. And then Corda missed an easy forehand. He missed more than usual. And he didn't want to, he had plenty of things today. That was another thing Rafa said. He had plenty of things. Like the easy forehand that he mentally wasn't all there and choked. He choked. Sasha Zverev, also choking. I love when Rafa, he doesn't want to, talk too poorly of the choke, right? He doesn't want to get too much into how bad Corda was. So listen to it again.
But even like this, then after he had one love 30 and then a break point with an easy forehand, he had plenty of things today, and he missed more than usual. I am through.
He cuts himself off. I was like, I am through. I am through. What more can I say? Anyways, Zverev, let's see his choke. Put that one up there. 35% win on second serve. The most important thing is Zverev had this in the bag. He was up a break. Let me look at the stats again. He's faster average on all shots, right? First serve, second serve, forehand, backhand, getting more serves in, making more returns on both first and second. Also, significantly higher, double-digit higher win rate on the first serve, right? All these things better than Tommy Paul. But with the break, should have the confidence to close this thing out. Sasha Zverev had 4. Count it, 4. That's an entire 15, 30, 40 game. 4 double faults in 1, not 2. 1 game from Sasha Zverev. I don't know. If you can't call that a choke, what is a choke in any sport? All right, like I said, we got a short show today, so let's go right into this here. You see this? I love this. Opelka's kick serve at the apex. For those of you who are new to the sport, that means the highest point. A 2.2 meters, also known as, for us here in the United States, 7.25, basically, 7.2 feet. Now, you see Nadal's way back. He takes it at 1.6 meters when he makes contact on his strings, and that is about 5.25 feet. Now, I will note, myself, I would be doing this. I don't know how successful I would be, but I would attempt to do it if I was playing Riley Opelka. Roger Federer would be doing it. Dirty Dan Evans, I imagine, would be doing it. A lot of players would do it if they had the hand skills and they were used to this sort of thing. Take a look up tight. It doesn't say, but imagine you're right on top of the baseline or even a step inside the baseline. Kyrgios might do this. Andy Murray might do something like this on the second serve, even with this monster kick serve this guy has. That would be even lower than 5.25 feet. That might be more like 5 feet. So a more normal height if you take it there. Let's go through the stats. Nadal, 30 unreturned serves. That's the top stat to me. That means 30 times Opelka couldn't get a Rafa serve back in play versus 29 for Opelka's own serve. Nadal, very clean, 20 winners on 15 unforced errors. Opelka in the negative, 33 winners, 39 unforced. At the net, Opelka a little over 50% success rate. Nadal, 5 out of 6. A few of those coming at the very end of the match when he really needed to put some pressure on the guy, on Opelka. Almost 100% there, obviously. Opelka, 33% win on second serve. That's incredible. After showing you this graph of how high the thing is bouncing, Rafa Nadal is winning the majority of those points. He kept him down to 33%. That is incredible. Forehand average 10 miles per hour faster for Riley Opelka. A lot faster on the backhand as well. Nadal's return rate getting 76 of the first serves back, 61 of the second serves back in play. Riley Opelka, 74 to 63. One break each. Hit the music. Like I said, we got to get out. It's a quick show. One break each. And Nadal, when he got broken, I wanted to point out he had a couple double faults. It was a really bad game. So, with all that said, Zverev is still a choker. Corda, still a choker. These guys, they might get passed over by some real players like Alcaraz. I don't know. I hope not for them. They're so talented. It would be a tragedy. It really would. Bottom line there. And let's go to Nadal. Will he beat Kyrgios here? I think so. Just looking at this court is so good for Nadal. It's slower than it's been before, and it's always been a slower hard court, but fast through the air, right? You see Opelka and Isner and Kyrgios, guys like that, they're enjoying it because they've got big kick serves, they've got big serves. The ball is traveling fast through the thinner air here, but when it hits the court, it's quite slow. If you can get it to bounce high, it's why an Opelka or an Isner really love it because they get the big kick serve. Kyrgios, too, can hit a big kick serve also. When it bounces, it slows it down, but it bounces high. Rafa loves it here because this ball is fast through the air, and then it is bouncing very high off the court. Even though this court is gritty and slowing down the ball more than pretty much any hard court around the world, it's one of the slowest hard courts when it comes to that. You still see that these guys, they really like it. These guys with power like the way this court plays because of those things. So I think Nadal will be able to win. Of course, this is a must-see TV match. We will be watching it. We will be back tomorrow to talk about it. Bottom line, I say Rafa wins in 3. I think we get a 3-setter out of this one. I think Rafa maybe has a couple more games like that to let Kyrgios win a set where Rafa throws in, like against Sebastian Corp, Rafa's throwing in all kinds of double faults. I think he had 9. Rafa almost hit 10. Double-digit double faults from Rafa. We don't see that too frequently. Anyways, don't drink too much beer tonight. Enjoy your St. Patrick's Day. I'll be playing with the band out, enjoying the St. Patrick's Day, and we will be back tomorrow morning to wrap up what happened with all of our friends in the Indian Wells draw. See ya!